You really thought you were irreplaceable. My boss laughed, leaning back in his leather chair. The board already signed it. Clear your desk by 6. The office smelled like burnt coffee and printer ink. My access badge lay on the glass table between us. He slid it toward me with 2 fingers, like something contaminated. You should have learned to stay loyal, he added, almost gently. I stared at the reflection of his ceiling lights and the table's surface. I wasn't angry. I was taking inventory. Hi, my name is Daniel Mercer. I'm 38 years old, a senior compliance analyst in downtown Chicago. For 12 years, I arrived at 7:10 a.m. sharp, reviewed audit trails before the traders logged in, and left only after the last reconciliation report cleared. I don't raise my voice. I don't miss anomalies. I document everything. Most people think compliance is paperwork. It isn't. It's pattern recognition. What my boss didn't know was that I had a second specialty, digital forensic certifications I'd earned quietly at night over 3 years. And what they didn't know was about to change everything. I joined the firm at 26, fresh MBA, no connections. I stayed late, covered holidays, skipped vacations during mergers. When my boss borrowed my analysis for his presentation, I stayed silent. When bonuses shrank but executive cars upgraded, I rationalized it. When he shifted losses into side accounts, I flagged it privately. He told me to adjust perspective. I adjusted nothing. The patterns worsened. Invoices inflated. Vendors rotated. Shell companies appeared, disappeared. Always just under reporting thresholds. I watched, documented, waited. 3 years ago, I almost reported him. I didn't. My wife was pregnant. Stability mattered more than pride. Last winter, $2.4 million vanished into a consulting contract. No deliverables, no staff, no footprint. I asked one careful question. He called me overzealous. Then came the restructuring memo. My department dissolved. My position redundant. His signature at the bottom. That was the final straw. I walked out of his office calmly. No slam doors, no dramatic speeches. In the elevator, I checked the time. 4:12 p.m. He believed he had won. He believed I would disappear quietly. I wasn't grieving. I was calculating. By 4:30, I had already texted one person. It's time. 3 months before my termination, the building underwent routine maintenance. That's what the email said. The repairman arrived on a Tuesday at 8:05 a.m. His name was Leo Alvarez, mid-40s, soft-spoken, licensed security systems technician. Officially, he was upgrading smoke detectors in executive offices. Unofficially, he was installing a micro camera above the recessed lighting panel in my boss's office. Leo wasn't random. He was recommended by Priya Shah, a former federal investigator who now ran a boutique corporate intelligence firm. I'd consulted her after the $2.4 million discrepancy. We didn't act immediately. We prepared. The camera transmitted to an encrypted server hosted offshore. Not illegal. Illinois is a one-party consent state for recording conversations I was part of, and I made sure I was present when it mattered. Over 12 weeks, we captured 47 hours of footage, specific meetings, specific admissions. On March 3rd at 9:18 a.m., my boss said, "Move it through Harbor Consulting. No one audits ghost vendors under $3 million. Harbor Consulting was a shell. On April 11th at 2:47 p.m., he told the CFO, "Daniel's getting curious. We'll restructure before he escalates." Time-stamped, archived, indexed. Then came the twist he never saw. I had forwarded compliance summaries to my personal encrypted archive every Friday for 4 years, legally, within policy. Backups of backups. Priya introduced me to Marcus Hill, a corporate defense attorney who specialized in whistleblower filings under the SEC program. We didn't rush. We compiled. Transaction logs, email headers, IP traces. Leo retrieved the physical backup drive from the office ceiling 2 days before my termination, replacing it with a dummy unit. My boss believed the maintenance was finished months ago. He felt untouchable. Even when he fired me, he smiled. He had no idea the evidence had already left the building. The confrontation happened at the firm's annual investor gala. The ballroom at the Palmer House was full. Shareholders, analysts, 2 city council members. My boss stood near the stage, champagne in hand, accepting congratulations for navigating a complex fiscal year. I approached him quietly. "Daniel," he said, surprised but not unsettled. "I thought HR handled you." "They did," I replied. He smirked. "Let's not make this awkward." Marcus stepped beside me. "Mr. Holloway, we filed a preliminary disclosure with the SEC at 3:02 p.m. today." My boss's smile flickered. "Excuse me?" I handed him a single-page summary. Bullet points, dates. Harbor Consulting circled in red. "This is ridiculous," he whispered. "We can settle this. Name a number." I held his gaze. It was never about the number. He leaned closer. "You think they'll believe you over me?" I nodded slightly. "It's not me they'll believe. It's the footage." The CFO, standing 2 feet away, had gone pale. I stepped back. "Enjoy your evening," I said, and walked out before he could respond. When I reached the lobby, the music upstairs had stopped. The cascade began within 48 hours. The SEC formally acknowledged the filing. An internal audit committee was formed, without his oversight. The board suspended him pending investigation. By day 5, Harbor Consulting's registered address was traced to a vacant suite. By day 7, a junior accountant named Melissa Grant submitted her own affidavit. She had been instructed to split invoices into sub-threshold amounts. She had kept copies. The CFO resigned on day 9. Local business media picked up the story on day 10. Respected executive under federal review. Investors demanded clarity. The board hired an external forensic firm. Priya's documentation aligned perfectly with their findings. On day 21, federal prosecutors opened a criminal inquiry into wire fraud and falsified disclosures. My boss attempted one last move. He claimed I had fabricated recordings, but Leo's installation logs, time-stamped and authenticated, matched building maintenance records. Independent verification crushed the claim. His final email to the board blamed rogue compliance overreach. No one responded publicly. By the following quarter, he was formally indicted on 6 counts of securities fraud. I didn't attend the press conference. I was at home, watching quietly. 6 months later, my mornings look different. I wake up at 6:30 a.m., walk my daughter to school. I consult independently, small firms, transparent books. Last week, my wife stood in the kitchen humming while teaching my daughter how to measure flour for pancakes. Sunlight through the window, no tension in her shoulders. That small sound, humming, meant more than any headline. I sit at the table with coffee and review client reports at my own pace. No marble offices, no executive gala, just clarity. Power isn't loud, it's controlled, and sometimes it waits.